welcome to this Tuesday edition of the Chiefs. And tatlong araw na lang, Biyernes na. Of course, with us tonight are Chicus Valdez, the head of News 5, ay bossing, and ano may pamintuan of the Philippine Star.
Natatawa ako sa pagkakalkula mo ng bawat linggo, Ed.
Something to look forward to, di ba?
Talagang you live for the weekends.
Oh. Alam mo, parating good sign pag yung Pangulo ay nakapag-speech na sa gabi, good sign yan. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, umaandar na yung araw papuntang Biyernes.
From Monday night to Friday night, ha? Gano'n kabilis sa'yo yun, ha?
The glass is either half empty or half full. It's how you look at it,
yes.
Di ba?
I know.
Okay, well, our guest for tonight is supposed to be Secretary Silvestre Bello ng DOLE. They're just having some technical issues. They're fixing it right now. But in the meantime, let's look at the headlines tonight. At least for tonight and this morning. What's the big story? There's Rabi Alampay of One News. Hi, Rabi. What's big story today?
Pinag-uusapan ngayon kung sino raw mauuna sa COVID-19 vaccines. Well, of course, I mean, first of all, to put everything into context, syempre frontliners, hindi po mawawala yan. Mga vulnerable sectors, hindi mawawala yan. Pati ang, of course, yung NCR, geographically, of course, the hotspots. But the President says he also wants to prioritize the military and the police. And also because the context there also is that they are frontliners as well. So yan yung isang top story kanina ngayon sa big story.
Tsaka sila raw ang magdidistribute. Sila raw ang magdidistribute eh. So dapat sila naman sila yung kumbaga sila yung channel eh, di ba? So dapat sila yung same.
Ang ginamit na words ni President Duterte, sila raw ang errand boys. But so people are making much about that phrase. But if you listen to the president, what he was really saying is, ito ang naaasahan kong inuutusan silang patakbo-takbo kung saan-saan, delivering the much needed material. So that was the context of what he said.
Malayo-layo pa yung vaccine na yan eh. In the meantime, nag-aalala yung mga health experts dahil mukhang mga tao nakakalimutan na yung mga physical distancing sa pagsa-shopping. Kaya World Health Organization nagwa-warning na baka daw magkaroon ng post-Christmas COVID surge. Dahil malayo mga March earliest natin or March pa yung vaccine na yan eh. In the meantime, nawawala na
sa Divisoria.
EDSA, wala nang physical distancing sa EDSA. Traffic na ulit eh.
Yun na nga. Diba?
Tsaka daming eksena kanina sa Divisoria, dami ng tao sa Divisoria. Yung mga vendors, tuwan-tuwa sila ng weekend, although ngayon medyo matumal ulit.
Ayun, wala. Oo.
Naghigpit sata ng konti kasi yung mga nagbabantay doon.
Oo.
There's a question. Although there's a question that hasn't been answered yet. I don't know if it's been already asked. When the president says that gusto niya unahin yung police at the military at yung frontliners, is he talking about only those directly involved or is he talking about them and their families?
Sila lang siguro.
Well, that's something we're assuming.
Una niyang binanggit yung families.
I would imagine, oo. Ha? Families kasama?
Kasama yun ang una niyang binanggit noon eh.
Kasi kung ganun, times 5 yan. So, you're looking at the PNP with 200,000 people, times 5, that's already 1 million.
Hindi lang yun. The other controversy there is it changes the context, di ba? The context of frontliners being first. So you could make the argument na ang the people actually on duty, including the police and the military, they are frontliners. But kung isama mo yung pamilya, magkakalintik-lintik dyan. You can imagine a lot of people howling in protest.
Yung multiplier mo yan is generally it's times 4 or times 5 eh. I mean, for the average family, it's times 5. So,
what's the sense in that?
Plus minsan maraming pamilya.
But what's the sense in including the family when you're already vaccinated, di ba? So, kumbaga, hindi ka na mahahawa at hindi ka rin makakahawa. So, what's the sense in that?
You can bring the virus home pa rin with fomites.
Not only that, these are families like yours and mine, di ba? You have other members of the households that also need to go to work. Kaya nga doon magkakaroon ng alitan dyan. Doon magkakaroon ng mga tanong dyan na bakit sila, why do they get to jump ahead of the line in front of everybody else. Kaya hindi naman kasama yung pamilya halimbawa ng medical frontliners. When we say medical frontliners lang talaga.
Yeah. But again, we don't have the answer to that. We're just asking the questions at this point. We don't really know yet whether the families are included.
Pina-finalize pa naman yata nila yung priorities nila.
Yeah.
Again, part din ng story nito is yung mas malaki yung, of course, yung everybody's anticipating kasi na dadating na tong mga vaccines. So there are developments on that front as well. Sa Britain, AstraZeneca is reporting 70 to 90% effectivity, and then yung Gamaleya of Russia again is saying it's still there at 95%.
Pero ang budget natin, yun ang problema pa rin, 'di ba? Kulang pa rin ang budget natin diyan. At well, the question pa rin is kung mapaprioritize tayo. Yun.
Kanina nabanggit ni Secretary Dominguez yung cost that they're operating on. The baseline is $25 per dose. So basically, if we go by Pfizer, na 2 doses, it's $50 per person.
2,500. Yeah. 2,500. Yeah. Tapos,
pero
utangin pa pala yun, ano?
Pero yung kasi, when they say $25 per dose, remember when you guessed Dr.
Dalawang doses yun.
Dalawa.
When you guessed Dr. Tony Leachon, ang sabi niya, the price they're talking about right now, that may not be the actual price. Mag-multiply pa yan eh.
Kumbaga, cost of production pa lang yun, kumbaga. I don't know. Well, certainly may logistical cost. But with the scale of it, we're not assuming that the logistics is going to be a major investment, lalong-lalo na doon sa cold storage, di ba? Sa ultra cold storage na inaano. But I guess,
kung Pfizer.
Kung Pfizer.
Yeah.
Saka yung sa yung Russia daw, mas malaking kamurahan daw yung Russian vaccine.
Yung
which
powder.
they are also rolling out na rin eh. So, tingnan natin kung sinong mauuna dyan sa mga yan.
Plus, when you finally have the vaccine, there will be a rush to buy it, and you might expect, hopefully not, but you might expect a push, an upward push in prices.
Magkakaroon kaya ng rush yan?
It's reality.
Magkakaroon kaya ng rush kasi at mga Pilipino medyo takot din sa vaccine, di ba? Yung iba dyan baka maghintay pa o ano epekto.
Bakit si Ping Lacson? Baka si Martin Romualdez, nauna na.
Sabi niya, nagbibiruan lang daw sila.
Ami, pero let's just clarify that hindi niya sinabi nagbibiro siya. Sabi niya, nagbibiruan sila parati sa...
Nagbibiruan sila and let's leave it.
Nagbibiruan sila parati doon sa... nagbibiruan sila parati, pero hindi niya sinabing biro yun.
Neither confirm nor deny, so malamang confirm, di ba?
And you cannot brush it off the question.
That's right. And not only that, Senate President Tito Soto was quite testy, di ba? When he was being pushed na parang ano po ba talaga yung, is this serious or not? And he became testy. In fact, he had a quote I saw on News 5 where he was saying, bakit di pinapakialaman ng health officials? Kami pwedeng makialam sa kanila. Huwag silang pinapakialaman ng DOH. So it was rather testy yung body language ni Senator Soto.
Yeah.
Ang pwede lang naman vaccine kay Ping ngayon yung yung Chinese eh. So baka may nagbigay sa kanyang Chinese company.
Moderna daw eh.
Meron na nga, ginagamit na nga sa China yung ibang vaccine.
Moderna yung kay Ping. Yun yung yun yung usap-usap.
Ano naman nakarating yun dito? Hindi naman yung makakarating dito. You need cold storage.
Baka naman sila sa trial.
Sa vaccine.
Baka nilagay sa styrofoam, tapos lagyan ng yellow.
Hindi ko makakarating. Ang pwede lang makarating dito galing sa China.
Ano kaya yan? Ibebenta kaya yan sa mga Lazada at Shopee?
Ito, I'm checking right now.
Hindi. Di ba napag-isapan natin yan? Di ba napag-isapan natin kay Yusik Vergere that DOH and
Chinese vaccine.
DOH and DTI are already bracing na meron diyang mga raketero, mga manloloko will be riding
meron
on this.
Meron sa internet, Chinese vaccine for sale. Tignan nyo.
But this is part of the context of the DOH and yung tanong sa Senado, seryoso ba to? Because part of the context here is bawal yan. Di ba? That's part of the context. Wala pang kiniklear dito. So anybody who says that they had access to it, whatever it is, maybe tama ka, Lucci, maybe if you were part of the test, then you can come out and say so. But other than that, ang malaking konteksto dito, which is why it's a serious question being posed to the senators, is bawal yan. It's as simple as that.
Pero, kunyari, alukan ka ngayon, di ba papayag ka?
Ako hindi.
Ako hindi. Ako
Talaga,
hindi.
talaga? Oh.
First test? Di ba,
Kaya
syempre.
Sa ibang
At
tao.
this point, na 95% na nga.
No, wait. Let's be clear, ha? We are all for a vaccine.
Oh.
Sa lahat po nanonood, pagka po may vaccine, suporta tayo, maniwala tayo sa ating mga siyentipiko, maniwala tayo sa ating
so
health officials. I'm just saying, part of my, is,
Marami akong allergy.
paano may part ka? You're waiting to see what the first group will, what the side effects will be. Ako, may asthma ako, eh. So that's part of my,
Yeah.
Marami akong allergic reaction sa drugs, eh. Kaya hindi ako pwede basta-basta. Marami akong
kayo anti-vaxxers.
Hindi ako anti-vaccine. Marami akong vaccination. Yung mga tested na. Kompleto naman ako sa vaccination. So, anyway, iniintayan nung siguro yung mga OFW natin. I'm sure lahat sila gusto nila magkaroon mabalik na sila sa trabaho nila.
Para makabalik na sila sa abroad.
Mag-reopen na ang mundo. Marami
Tsaka sana si Secretary Bello nandyan na.
Mukhang wala.
Wala pa ba?
Nandyan na ba siya? Nandyan na ba? So we can ask him about our nurses nga eh.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, iba naman. Tapos na tayo sa vaccine.
Kanina, in other news, kanina naman, ang malaking topic sa Senado, red tagging. Nandun ang Makabayan block. Hinarap sila. They were face-to-face with members of the intelligence community.
Kasi Lago. Doon din si Congressman Lago. Umiyak pa nga eh, no?
Tapos Teddy Casino.
Pag-usapan na muna natin yung traffic siguro sa EDSA.
Oh yeah. Pero let's go into GAP first, and then we'll come back. We'll come back now with Bong Nebrija, who was supposed to be our second guest, but we'll bring him in first. Okay, so we'll just go into GAP. So please stay with us. Okay, let's bring in our guests. One of our guests for tonight, of course, the MMDA EDSA czar, Bong Nebrija, joins us online. Sir Bong, good evening po, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening po at magandang gabi sa lahat ng taga-subaybay, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Traffic Car.
Sir, ang sabi nila, imposible na yung social distancing sa EDSA ngayon dahil sobrang ng traffic. Talagang, and we're only looking at the last week of November going into December. What do we have planned for well, not just EDSA, of course, but for the traffic in Metro Manila for the Christmas season?
Well, sir, we will manage traffic as it is. Whatever the volume will come this holiday season, we will be managing it. As you can see, we have already reconfigured EDSA. This will be another challenge for us. This will be the first time that we will be managing it with the busway on the left, and in the midst of the pandemic. Also, the volume right now, we're looking at what 60 to 70% of pre-pandemic period, and we're looking at significant volume to add up these coming holidays, but hoping that it will not be the same as before,
How
around
close are we?
405,000.
Yeah. How close are we to what it was before COVID?
The last volume count that we had was August 31, and it was at 210,000, ma'am. Pre-pandemic, in December of 2019, we were at 405,000. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
again, September and October, the Department of Trade and Industries has opened up our industries and businesses to 60 to 70% operational. And with
Mm,
that, added more employees.
yeah.
And so we are catering to approximately that also that same amount or same volume of vehicles on EDSA,
Yes.
considering that
But
that's the
Tapos may angkas
sir,
pa.
maliban doon sa
Naka-joyride
maliban
ngayon. Yeah.
Sir, maliban doon sa volume ng vehicles, yung actual number, no? I'm just curious if you can drill down on who are these people in traffic? Kasi pagka nagsasapol ako, when I ask my friends, lahat sila hindi pa rin nag-o-office. Di ba? So, I mean, and I presume that's a typical answer for a lot of people. And yet, you're saying 70% of the normal traffic is already out there. Are these people all going to office to work? And what's the breakdown of the agenda and motivations for people to be out on EDSA on a weekday?
well, I hope I can answer that, but we do not have a breakdown of who are really on the road. Remember, we are not doing the checkpoints anymore. We are not conducting segregation of APOR and UPOR anymore. We're just catering to everyone on the road practically. And this, if they're allowed or not allowed, it's beyond our mandate and authority to do that. And we're hoping that the local government could help us out in that. Yeah, but right now there are no more checkpoints. There are no more quarantine area or well, at least local government. There's no more. Everything is open. So we really do not have a way of checking who are the unauthorized and the authorized people outside the residences.
I mean, just to be clear, sir, I'm not questioning kung authorized or hindi. Everybody has as much right as I am to travel. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
reconcile yung anecdotal experience ko na as far as I can tell, most of the people I know are still working from home. Most of the people I know will still say ayoko pa rin lumabas, ayaw pa rin namin mag-mall. And yet when you get to EDSA, you get the complete opposite experience and perception na parang naglabasan na lahat ng tao.
Not only that, wala pa tayong klase. So wala pa tayong eskwela. So we do not have that student volume, so to speak, on the roads of Metro Manila. But then again, surprisingly, even us, really cannot fathom the fact that there are so many people on the road, many motorists on the road, and well, there's really no way of saying who are authorized and authorized in outside our residences anymore.
In the
Yeah.
meantime, balik yung angkas sa joyride. Do you have any particular plans related to their return to the streets? Meron ba kayong particular?
But it's really the DOTR and the LTFRB who are on top of this technical working group. And I was part of it last Monday. We inspected Joyride. This is part of their transition in coming back to the pilot testing as well. I think this has been agreed upon in one of the hearings in Congress and in the Senate that we should continue with the pilot testing of the motorcycle taxis. And part of that, since we are in the pandemic, we set up new guidelines and protocols for them to come back. And that's why last Saturday, the TWGG inspected ang cars. Monday, they inspected the Joyride, and we are scheduling another inspection for another, excuse me, another inspection for Move It.
Ano yun, sir? Balik na naman yung mga ano ba yun? Yung mga
Barriers.
divider, yung mga, although pwede
Yes.
na kahit sino, except mga bata, di ba may mga ganyang rules? Can you lay
Yes, ma'am.
down the rules again, I mean, to us, so that people are reminded? Kasi tagal na rin na nawala yung mga yan eh. Ano na nga ba
Opo,
ulit
ma'am.
ang mga guidelines?
Well, I will be telling you based on what I witnessed on Monday when we inspected Joyride. The TWG came out with a series of items that needs to be checked out before they will allow the motorcycle taxi to operate. And among them is the health protocols imposed by the IATF. Among this, the cashless transactions, one, the barrier, the sanitation every after ride, and the riders should bring disinfectant or alcohol, gloves, and face masks just in case their passengers do not have this. And the passengers are now the ones to bring their own helmets.
Helmets yun. Yeah.
Helmets. So if you are going to ride a motorcycle taxi, you need to wear your own helmet already. So they will not be providing you with that. However, just like Joyride, what they do is they came out with this Joyride Pay, wherein you can put in advance a sort of a deposit in your account, and they will give you a free helmet. Blue for male and pink for female, so that you could easily identify that these helmets are not the old helmets that the riders are sharing with their passengers.
So those are brand new and you get to keep the helmet?
Yes, it's yours
na
for
yun.
free. Yes, as long as you put in a certain amount of money in your JR pay.
I see. So dapat pag kumuha ka na nun, lagi mo nang dala-dala yun. Ganun ba yun, sir?
Ay, tama po yun, ma'am. They have put it in a very convenient helmet carrier. So basically, if you're going to work, you work in an office, it has a strap so you can carry it with you.
Okay.
Mr.
Okay.
Nebrija,
Sir,
bago nag-pandemic, no, the president tossed you yung tawag namin doon, the 5-minute challenge. Na sabi nyo, medyo malabo yata ang malinaw, pwede 30. Ngayon, mukhang magkakaroon na ng vaccine, mukhang we're on our way to normalization. Yung mga preparations nyo, kaya ba natin yon when everything normalizes? Pag bumalik na yung schools, face-to-face classes, pag bumalik na yung mga opisina, mabawasan yung work from home, kaya ba yung, ano yung kaya sa EDSA?
Well, what is for sure that the public commute, the public transportation will be more predictable and efficient than before. So if we're talking about 5 minutes ko ba to Makati, it could via public transportation.
Kaya?
And yes, ma'am.
Kaya? Okay.
Yeah, with the fifth, but then again, semantics na speed limit and the distance, ano. But what we're saying, we are targeting 1 hour and a half travel time from Monumento to MOA, and that's not bad. And predictability of the mass public transport, it means that you know what bus, and the time to take it from what station, and what time you will be arrived to the end station. So that's one. So that's why we're trying to complete right now, before the new normal comes, we're trying to complete all the barriers and close down the busway so that we can come up with the schedule for the buses already. Right now, with the hybrid system that we have, that the buses are traveling inside the busway, and then part of Makati, they're outside the busway. So there's no predictability in that. So right now, we're almost done closing Monumento, at least up to Buendia,
Yeah.
And then we will be starting closing down from Bindia up to MOA in the days to come.
Okay,
Yung
but
Sir,
Mr.
we do
Nebrija,
understand
other
the
than
priority.
Yung monumento
We-
to Kawa nyo na 1.5 hours, that's public transportation ba yun? O
Yes, ma'am. Public transportation po.
public
Public
transportation by
transport.
bus?
Yes, ma'am. Public transportation po.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
we do understand the priority given to the buses, to the mass transportation system, because it is the system used by most people, or it should be the system used by most
Yeah.
people. However, some people then are asking about the new rules being put in place by MMDA to facilitate yung mass transportation system. For example, the closure of the U-turn slots along EDSA supposedly is causing a lot of traffic for private vehicles naman. So that's the other side of the coin. I'm wondering if there's any balancing that can be done here. We do understand that you want to close the U-turn slots so that the buses have free reign on their lanes. Pero on the other hand, you also do make it much harder for private cars.
We understand, Sir Ed. And true, I must admit that I've seen it on the road that we're having significant volume and delays in parts of Balintawak and Quezon Avenue. This is part of the big loop that we have right now because we have already closed down all the U-turns in between.
Kasi
So-
lumalayo yung U-turn eh.
Yes, we understand that. So there are talks right now on a plan of coming up with an elevated
Ramp.
ramp for the busway, so that in some portions of that stretch of EDSA, buses could fly that ramp, and the U-turning private vehicles could take the lower part of the ramp.
Sir,
Okay,
di ba mas
I mean,
madaling
that's it.
yung U-turn, yung elevated U-turn slot for the cars kasi yung buses mabibigat yung ngayon.
Oo nga.
Sorry, kasi yung elevated
Especially
U-turn,
coming from the EEI accident, di ba? Parang medyo napapraning ka dun sa pag-build doon at
Ano
saka
lang, baka
sa
lang, baka ganun lang.
capacity. I mean,
yeah, well, we need to compute for the strength of materials, of course. But then again, sir, yung elevated U-turn, we'll see if that will also be feasible. But the thing is, we are limited by the height of that U-turn because of the MRT.
narrow.
That said, Mr. Nebrija, I did want to ask, what are the insights and the learnings on the busway itself? I mean, never mind the details kung saang istasyon and so on. But we've had months of experience with the busway now. Kita natin, maganda naman yung daloy. But what are the key learnings and key takeaways from this experience with the busway so far?
Well, we have a new system, but the thing is, we have still old drivers and old mentality and attitude. So they cannot get away with the kind of habit of dwelling in bus stations and waiting for passengers. This scheme is designed for passengers to wait for the buses and not the buses for the passengers. That's the thing. So whether you're full or not, you leave within a period of a minute and a half, so that we can maintain the headway. We do not want to make all the buses full at the start of the busway and deprive of the succeeding bus stations the passengers to have a ride.
Kasi
So that's why
service contracting na tayo, no? But you're saying that the bus drivers are still have not made that switch in their mentality and their habits.
Sir, for the EDSA carousel, the service contracting is different. That's the one that we use for the MRT augmentation.
Okay.
So for the bus carousel, they should work as a consortium. So it doesn't matter who will pick up the passenger, who will pick up the most passengers. It doesn't matter anymore because you're working as a consortium. Whatever the income for the day, you will equally divide it.
Lahat ng operators,
So-
lahat ng operators.
Yes, the members of that consortium. So if you have 5 companies there, then this will be divided into 5, equally divided into 5. But the thing is, we still need to see that kind of operations from the bus consortium. That they should operate like that, and the dwelling time and all that should be minimized based on the headway that was set upon.
So what's keeping them from doing that?
Well, ma'am, we still need to find out because just like what I said, we agreed on a consortium basis. But
Yeah,
if
so
the consortium is only based on paper and not in actual operations, then we have a problem.
yun na nga, sir.
That's why
So,
So
bakit
that's
nga
why
ba?
we keep on monitoring them.
Sir, linawin ko lang, when you say na consortium na ngayon ng mga bus operators, in effect, that they have a de facto monopoly now running that route.
Yes, tama po yun. So for EDSA Carousel, for example, there's one consortium, Mega Manila, they will provide all the buses that is needed for that route, and they will operate that. They will maintain a fleet management that is required of them, and they should be monitoring based on the volume of passengers in each station, and they should be providing buses for that. So that's why we're coming up with the scheme of skip buses, because the passengers are not equally divided in all bus stations. So there are bus stations that have more passengers than the other ones. So that's why we need to put more buses in those stations to accommodate all these commuters.
So, in the meantime, sir, mukhang titindi pa rin yung traffic sa EDSA because Christmas is only a few weeks away. Meron ba kayong balak in connection with the Christmas rush? By way of traffic, easing lang, traffic mitigation along EDSA.
Well, ma'am, before we have the number coding, we do not have that right now.
Yes.
We have the truck ban before that there should be no trucks on EDSA, but we have lifted that also. We're trying to help the economy and the industries and the businesses to keep or at least spark the movement of our economy by letting them do this or make it more convenient for them to do their business by lifting the number coding and lifting the truck ban. So right now, there's really no specific policy that will address the Christmas holidays. But again, we're approaching December. We're not talking about it right now. To be honest with you,
Kasi
we will be managing the traffic as it is with
in the
all the
past,
trucks, with all the numbers.
oo. Kasi nung nakaraan, sir, meron kayo nung holiday, ano ba yung route? Diba? Pagka
Ma'am,
magpapasko na,
yes.
gagawin nyo pa ba yun?
Ma'am, kasi po yung Christmas lanes natin before, we have already converted that into mabuhay lanes. What I mean by that is that hindi na lang siya pang Christmas. Binuhay na natin siya for everyday use. So that's why we provided this mabuhay lanes as an alternate route.
So wala na
So it's
talaga
still
yun na
existing.
yun, no? Oo. Okay.
Dati ma'am, meron kaming no delivery within peak hours. So ibig sabihin, you can only deliver from 10 to 5 in the evening. Meron po kaming no sales on weekdays. Ibig sabihin, weekends ka na makakapag-sale.
Tapos yung malls nun,
Restrictions
yung opening time, tsaka
Yes,
closing
adjusted.
time, di ba?
Adjusted all hours, ano?
Yeah. So,
Right now, ma'am, talaga we're trying to make it more convenient for the businesses to start their business again, because of the pandemic, and we do not want to give so many restrictions for now. Actually, we've seen a lot, a few malls already starting with their holiday sales, 3-day sales of that. So we're just allowing their businesses to at least recover from the pandemic.
right.
Sir, earlier we were asking you about the volume of the traffic, and you said originally before the pandemic it was at, around 400,000 per day along EDSA.
Yes.
But the last count, I think, if I hear you right, if I heard you right, your last count was in August pa, and it was at 210.
August 31.
Yes, sir.
10.
So, okay,
Yes.
practically September, 2 months ago. So it was at 210,000. That's around half of it pa lang. Do we have any estimate, more or less, kung ilan siya ngayon? I asked that kasi parang bumalik na sa pre-pandemic time yung traffic, pero I don't know if it's my imagination lang or if it's really supported by numbers. Or if it's a factor of the bus lane.
Well, a combination of everything, Sir Ed. No, actually, maybe my rough estimate is 60 to 70%. Why is that? Because I base it
pre-pandemic.
on the yes, of the pre-pandemic, because I base it
2014,
on the
300.
280, something like that. So I based it on the opening of the operations of the industries and
okay,
businesses
the
also.
percentages, yeah.
So because that's what we saw when we opened up 50% of the businesses, we also see the surge of vehicles at around 50%. That was in August. So I'm just making my rough estimates based on the opening of the industries and businesses.
Sir, whatever it is, it's still tumataas, traffic na naman, but it's still a lower
Opo.
volume. How is that translating to road accidents and road safety? Is there a corresponding decline in road accidents and an improvement in road safety, or not necessarily?
Well, not necessarily, sir, because as you could see, we had a series of concrete barrier and bollard related accidents in the past few months when we started barricading the busway. And that in itself is pretty significant. But compared to pre-pandemic, we haven't reached the number yet. The last time I made a presentation on road safety, we are still below the number that we have in the same period of last year.
Ang riders po, that's a new sector that has emerged during the COVID. Yung mga nagde-deliver na nakamotorsiklo, I mean,
Opo.
di ba? We all know what we're talking about. For that particular sector, kamusta po ang safety record ng riders?
Sir, maganda naman, ano? Well, we have motorcycle accidents, but not really related to delivery businesses. Ang nakita namin, sir, yung pag-take advantage ng mga delivery during the ECQ, na bawal yung alcohol. Di po ba? So meron dyan na ginagamit yung delivery service na to, yung motorcycle delivery services, by ordering alcohol and having it delivered through motorcycles. And nahuhuli namin sila sa checkpoint. But other than that, safety-wise, they have a higher percentage of safety during the pandemic.
We
Yeah,
were
that's good
pushing the
news.
use of bicycles early on in the pandemic. I wonder how that has progressed. Mas marami ba ngayong nagbabike, especially in the inner roads? Is there any report on that? Have we encouraged people to use bikes more?
I think the lasting effect of this pandemic also are people taking the bicycles to work. Their bicycles to work. The reason behind is they got used to it. During the time that we did not have public transportation, many of our kababayans took bought bikes or repaired their old bikes and hit the road and went to work by using bicycles. We wanted to put up a bicycle lane on EDSA. We had this pilot area from Cubao to Makati. That's Aurora to Magallanes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, it's still there. We have painted that area. However, we still need to come up with a barricade to protect our riders. I think this will be part of the fund coming from the Bayanihan 2 and the OTR and DPWH will talk about it on what design will they come up with to protect the bikers by coming up with a barricade for them. Whether it's a bollard or a steel fence, that I still do not know. But the funding is there, so it will come soon. And by the way, the president already declared the fourth Sunday of November as the National Bicycle Day. So expect maybe on Sunday, on the 29th, we will be seeing a lot of bikers on the road.
Pero dumami na theft of bikes eh. Yan ang balita ngayon eh. Dumarami na yung mga nakawan ng mga motorsiklo, bisikleta. Paano kaya yung mga ganon, sir? Investment yun? Yeah.
I think the police are on top of these crimes anyway, petty crimes. And it's true, not only that, not only the theft of bicycles, but also we have seen a surge in the prices of bicycles
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
its demand.
Kumusta naman yung
But you're,
ng MMDA? You're also in charge of enforcement. Meron rin kayong role sa enforcement eh. Mas disiplinado ba mga drivers ngayon sa EDSA or malaki ang itinaas ng mga apprehensions ninyo?
Ma'am, mas mababa po ito, no? Lalong-lalo na nung hindi pa tayo GCQ because there are really less cars on the road. However, we concentrated more on the motorcycle riders and their back rides because IATF has come out with a health protocol not only on motorcycles but also the physical distancing on public transport and private vehicles as well. So basically, our apprehensions are not just limited to moving apprehensions anymore, but also we were tasked to implement the health protocol set by the IATF. So that's added job for us, and mostly our apprehensions were in that area of implementing the IATF guidelines.
Okay. Sir, habol ka lang yung nabanggit nyo kanina yung number coding system eh. Wala pang timetables po yan. That I know it's still suspended pero you're not looking at putting it back anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, Sir Ed. Again, we had a meeting this morning. I asked again my bosses about it, and no, we haven't discussed this yet. So it will come maybe when we will be discussing it again when we will be shifting to another community quarantine. If we will move to a lower community quarantine, but for now, it's not yet.
All right.
Okay. Mr. Bong Nebrija, well, Colonel Bong Nebrija of the MMDA, sir, maraming salamat po for joining us tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Salamat po.
salamat po. Thank you po.
Hatigan namin kayo ng isang buong episode.
Oo nga.
Okay, well, we did promise you that we would have Secretary Bello of DOLE tonight. Unfortunately, he was having some technical issues from his end. Hindi niya nahirapan siya with the phone. In other words, so we'll try to have him some other night, hopefully within the week, because it is a big issue with nurses.
Ganda sana pag-usapan talaga nun eh, no?
Yeah.
Kasi talagang, when you really think about the numbers, no? Tsaka, yun na nga, parang 5,000 when we used to send out 19, no? And we're graduating 35,000 nurses every year. What are they going to do?
And nurses group is saying that around 200,000 nurses are now unemployed.
Are jobless. Yes. Yes, diba? So parang you really wonder, why are we not using them at may budget naman? I remember in one of our discussions here, in the chiefs, diba? Sinabi naman na budgeted na yan, pero hindi nila nagagamit yung budget. I'm wondering why they're not hiring when we obviously need more nurses now. The ratio is 1 to 35, even 59 in some
and the other side there is, even if mapunuan mo yung demand and need dito sa Pilipinas, you still do not need to stop anybody else from going out. Kasi nga ganun kalaki yung, quote-unquote, yung supply ng ating mga nurses.
Yeah, ganun karami. Yeah. Well,
okay. All these questions we want to ask him, well, we wanted to ask him. I-text lang natin. So we'll try to get him hopefully within the week. Hopefully we can get him within the week to guest it with the chief. So I suppose that's it muna. Let's call it a night and hope for a better night next 3 days. Okay, and that'll be all for this special edition of the Chiefs. We hope what was discussed here will keep the conversation going. I'm Edlinga of One News.
I'm Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star.
I'm Lucy Cruz Valdez of News 5.
I'm Robbie Alampay, and we are One News.